Okay, what's up? I watched this movie called El Orfanato, The Orphanage. It's Espanol, it's Spanish. I'm not trying to be funny. It's hard to say El Orfanato without trying to say it in like some proper Spanish accent. I thought it was pretty good. It's interesting. In my opinion, it's a bit overrated. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8, but I don't think so. It's not my kind of movie that much. I like horror. To me, I actually thought it was funny because I thought it was pretty cheap as a horror movie. I thought it was it's really a drama. It's a drama movie disguised as a horror. Now, I could give you an example of so maybe The Sixth Sense is a good parallel, but I like The Sixth Sense a lot overall because I think the drama side is really interesting and relatively clear, and it has some surprises, some twists and turns, and I think the horror works as well. It is scary. With this one, I think it's a bit more unclear, like what's the nature of, I don't know, it doesn't seem as clear cut with it's kind of like, is it a real story or is it a ghost story? And it seems a bit vague to me. I think the drama's pretty cool, but I was confused. I had to read about it afterwards, and then some things made sense to me. So it was a bit confusing. I've also got to be honest, like when I watched The Village, the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong Shyamalan movie, I didn't really get any sleep the night after that. I admit, I just slipped on my chair, because it's your mind, it's your imagination. Those big things in red, like here I've got some red, like with their, going around in their hoods or whatever. That looked like a Taliban, I don't even know what it's called, a turban. Like that was creepy, and the sounds they make. Even I don't want to spoil that movie, but yeah, because I just looked outside my doorway. I just kept thinking one of those red things, and I'd look away, and then I'd look, just to check. And after watching this movie, the Orphanage, I'll just call it The Orphanage. I kept just checking, is that little kid with that sack bag thing, is he standing there? It's not a grown adult, but it's in your mind, and your mind likes to mess with you. At least mine likes to mess with me. It likes to creep me out. So I kept thinking that little kid or some other kids are going to stay there. There's at least one part where I was like, nah, F this, I'm out. When I thought, what is the character doing? I would, in real life, I would freak out. So I think it was kind of well done. That is a strength of it, that most of the movie, there's a lot of suspense, but that's why I think it's also cheap, because it's a lot of just kind of scary music and people looking around, and then a loud noise, and it's without much happening. And I can understand, okay, so it doesn't just try to gross you out, it doesn't just have crazy monsters and show you everything. It has, but I don't think there's that much substance. I think in the end, the story is interesting. It is pretty good, but I found it mostly, what it caught my attention was the suspense, and I felt like it was kind of a cop out in terms of the horror aspect. If that, I didn't feel like, well, I don't want to give anything away, but it felt like there wasn't really a legitimate threat a lot of the time. It was just, let's creep you out, which I feel like you could do with anything. Like any drama movie, you could film as if it's a horror. You could have, going and eating breakfast as if it's a horror. If you have intense music and something suddenly fall, you open the cupboard and something falls, and it's like, it's kind of vapid to me. I don't like that. But yeah, so my quick summary for those that haven't seen it is, I think it's a pretty good horror movie. Like, it'll keep you on edge. It did make me jump once as well. I'll explain in a second. And it's got a decent story, but I found it maybe a little bit long. Not really boring, but just in the end feels a little empty compared to what it could have been. So anyway, 7 out of 10 for me. Like, maybe watch it and see what you think. Anyway, so and I think it's a little bit overrated. I don't think it's as great as what people say. Alright, let me spoil it now. So that part that I jumped at was it was so weird that, okay, I want to explain what leads up to it. The loud bang, or the banging, and then she gets up and her husband says, oh, I'll do it, it's my turn, and he just falls asleep again. It's established that happens. Anyway, she gets up, goes outside, and looks in the shed, and eventually sees this old woman. It's very creepy. She has a shovel and she runs away. It's just weird. It's like, so what was that about? Like, that's a good example of something that isn't really that scary, but they film it in such a way to make it really scary. And it's like, okay, so there was no ghost, there's nothing fancy going on there. It was some old lady, and that's why it feels a little cheap. You know, I hope people get what I mean. You could take any movie, fairly casual scene, and just make it terrifying. That's cheating. Anyway, and then she finds out a little bit more about this lady, kind of indirectly, later on, and then she happens to see her, and then just boom, the bus smashing into her. That also felt stupid. Like, in the end, I don't think there's any explanation. It just, she happens to get hit. Why? That's purely shock value. Like, I thought, oh my god, there's something really weird going on, but it's like, no, she's just an idiot. She just got hit by, or the bus driver's an idiot, or both, some combination. But anyway, yeah, where she tries to sort of touch what's on her chest or around her neck, and the hand grabbing, I didn't expect that. I just was completely relaxed because I was like, it's a dead body, like, and then just, I was like, oh my god, and then the face, again, that was kind of real, and it's like, other than the music and the way it's filmed, it wouldn't be that scary. It might be disturbing, but don't cheat. Don't. That's the thing. This movie is a horror movie only in the sense of it has dark music. It's a bit like another M. Night Shyamalan movie. Shyamalan, I don't know. Signs. The opening credits can make you jump. Like because just the music, it's just titles coming up and bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. Like, it just music is so powerful to do that, and I just think it's cheating if that's all you use it for. And that's, anyway, yeah, the part that really creeped me out was the part where she stupidly just does the you know, I forget what they say, like, come out, I don't know what it is, but she does this, says a little thing and knocks and looks back at it. It's pretty well done, the way the camera pans and then pans back to her and then pans out and then back to her, especially because I think horror movies, a lot of it is about limiting your field of vision. So for example, if I was in a horror movie, I might be like scared, and then something from right in front of me jumps out, and it's scary because you didn't see it, but of course I see what's in front of me, so it often doesn't make sense. But with this shot, it kind of, yeah, closes down. It's like close up, her against the wall, and then so when, and I was thinking, this isn't that scary because she looks and then we can see everything. It's not scary when you can see everything. That tends to be less scary. If you can see everything, you're like, okay, I can get a grip on what's going on. I can look at the details. I can see that it's fake or whatever. But then when it comes back to her, and then one time, and there's like some little kid there, and I'm like, what? I was like, nope, I'm out. I'd be like, goodbye, run, or I just freeze. But then the camera pans back, and I'm like, what is she doing? She keeps playing the game, and then that's when it's scary, because you know something's there, and you're like not looking at it, and then it pans back, and I'm like, okay, there's like 3 kids or 4 kids now, and they keep getting closer. I wouldn't say it was like, it was well done, but not really like terrifying, but just like creepy. And then I don't know what happens after that. She just kind of chases them or something. Yeah, look, I think the idea is pretty interesting, that she heard a noise and went, to investigate and accidentally knocked some things over. It turned out her son was downstairs and she accidentally kind of locked him out. And she might have heard some bangs, but I don't know if it holds up, because I've only seen it once. I don't really want to watch it again. Did her son call out? Did her son say, hey, help me, I'm down? I don't know. And then I think at night she hears a loud bang, and that was her son sort of falling over a railing and then just hitting the ground. And I guess at the party, see, this is the other thing, that kid with the sack bag is terrifying. That's creepy. That's scary. Because he kind of just walks towards her at the party near the bathroom or whatever, and I swear he's growling. That was not human. Either. There was something like that. I'd have to rewatch it. That's again cheating. Is this a kid or is it some supernatural thing? That's why I felt you kind of feel tense, like, what's going on? And it's like, this is a good horror movie. And then later it's like, wait, hang on. This doesn't make sense. I don't like that. It's cheap, and plus a little kid knocks her over and like the door kind of shuts. It's like, oh, she's bleeding. Like, it's it's like Final Destination. It's like someone, is just like, I don't know, washing the dishes, and all of a sudden their life's in danger because they put a knife there, and it's like the way you film it, and the knife is the balance. The knife's nearly gonna fall over, and there's water, and it's slippery, and some water starts dripping, and they might slip, and there's some other thing that, like a couple of plates that the knife might fall, and there's something else, that the knife gets knocked up by accident. She slips and just, that's what, Final Destination is so stupid if you think about it. It takes, like, those movies, but it just felt a bit similar to that. Just jumping around. The end I didn't get, but now I think I get it. So I guess her son was very sick and had HIV, not AIDS yet, but HIV positive. So I'm not sure what that had to do with the story, but maybe they adopted him knowing that and wanted to look after him. I don't know the details. It sounds like, so I think she was one of the orphans or something. It wasn't clear. I don't know if she has medication or if she's sick, because apparently I think the other woman says, oh, you'll be able to see them because you're close to death. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't understand. But anyway, so at the end, I guess she takes the medication as suicide to be with her son again, and then he comes alive, and it's like, okay, so she's died and kind of gone to heaven, but she's happy with this virtual sort of, she's able to look after these kids, who I guess are ghosts. So are the ghosts real? It's confusing. I also found it a bit confusing I just felt like it could have been made a bit clearer. I had to read this later, but at that, I don't know, near the beach, that sort of cave area, where I guess that's where Thomas, it's got a little line above the A. I don't know what that means. Thomas or Thomas? Maybe emphasize, I don't know. Let's say Thomas is sort of tricked into going there, and his mask is off, so he doesn't want to come out, and then he ends up drowning because of the high tide, something like that. So I guess that's where the new boy, I forget his name, her son, becomes friends with him there, I guess, but we don't really see it. So it's just not clear to how much of it involves ghosts and how much of it involves, like, his son acts kind of weird, like it to be. And how did the son know how did he know that he wasn't her son? That wasn't clear to me. Maybe I missed something. Did he read through the file at some point? Or did he have an inkling? Did one of the ghosts tell him? And if so, how did the ghosts know? I found the part where the lady came and sort of became, I don't know, not possessed, but like was investigating, these paranormal sort of investigating. I thought that part was pretty good, like pretty creepy and scary. And then hearing the sounds. But still, I find it hard to suspend my disbelief with these things these days. Because I just know, the problem is, there are people that literally believe in ghosts, so they buy into this. So that's why it kind of annoys me to some degree if you make a series. Like, I know The Sixth Sense is a ghost movie, I guess, as well, but I feel like it's a bit more consistent. It doesn't really deny it. It's like, no, ghosts are definitely real. But this movie, it feels a little bit more vague. It feels like whenever it's convenient, they exist. At other parts, there doesn't seem to be anything going on. I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna leave it there. 7 out of 10. I do like parts of the story. It's kind of movie, but it's confusing. It was confusing for me. It's cheats, I think, with the scares. It is funny that apparently the director would sort of trick the cast members a bit, or actually surprise them. I think that's cool. I think directors should do that. It's much more fun to see them really jump. But yeah, it could have had a lot more substance, I think. Either it could have pushed the horror aspect more and actually had some horror, some actual threat, something scary. The story was kind of interesting, but it could have been a little bit clearer. And it's kind of sad at the end. I'm not a big fan of the suicide, that's not a happy ending. I guess the guy kind of looks up and smiles as if he knows it's his wife. That's kind of nice, but I don't know. And the son dying, but then why didn't the son call out? Or scream, or say, Mommy, you locked me. I don't know. Did I miss something there? I don't know. Anyway, Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.